So we're just looking really briefly. I want to make sure we know how to do each of these sections. So I'm going to do find the measure of each angle indicated rounded to the nearest tenth. Tenth means 1 decimal point afterwards. Okay, so for this first one, I'm looking for this angle right here. That little 0 with a line through it, that's just like a question mark or an X. It's just like find that angle. Okay. This is my hypotenuse. This is my adjacent. It's my hypotenuse because it's across from the 90 degree. So according to SOHCAHTOA, I'm going to use cosine inverse adjacent over hypotenuse. So I take my calculator out. I get inverse cosine. I put in 12 divided by 13. I get 22.6 degrees. That's the whole thing. Okay? Let's move on to number 9. Make sure we get this. Find the measure of each side indicated, round to the nearest tenth. This is my adjacent. This is my hypotenuse. So I'm going to use cosine, but I'm going to use cosine 37 equals 11 over x. Okay? I didn't use the inverse because I'm not finding an angle, I'm finding a side. Okay? In this case, if I have that x in the bottom, I can just switch them. Or you can go through the whole cross multiplying thing if you want. And I'm going to go 11 divided by the cosine of 37, which gives me 13.8 because I'm rounding up. We feel okay about the front of this? Should be very similar from what we did before. Okay, let's turn it over. Okay, when it says solve each triangle, it means it wants all the angles and all the sides. Well, it's really easy for me to find this angle right here. I just go 180 minus 62 minus 90. And I get that this angle is 28. But then I'm going to have to use trig to find these sides. So I'm going to use 62, and I'm going to use that this is my opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. I'm going to use opposite and adjacent first. So I'm going to go tan of 62 equals 22.6 over A. Or I can call it X, but I'm going to call it A in this case. So I get A equals 22.6 divided by tan of 62. And I get 12 is A. I get 12.1, but it says round to the nearest tenth, so that would just be 12. Okay, and then to find the hypotenuse, I'm going to do sine of 62 equals the opposite, 22.6 over h. Switch places, h equals 22.6 over sine of 62. So 22.6 divided by sine of 62 gives me 25.6. Okay? Any questions about this? Yeah, no problem. So the hard part, I think, is going to be the solve each part of the triangle. We haven't done a lot of those where you have to find more than one side and find the other angle. But you have to find all the parts. So you should have 3 sides and 3 angles to be able to move on. Okay? All right, let's look at the word problems. Everybody got this? Okay, we're going to look at the word problems. Okay, they are pretty straightforward. I believe the front is all finding a side and the back is all finding an angle. We've done stuff like this before. Let me just set up one of them for you. A monument stands on level ground. The angle of elevation to the top of the monument is which is 400 feet away, is 32 degrees. Find the height of the monument. Okay, again, the angle of elevation to the top of the monument is 32 degrees. That goes here. Taken 405 feet away, find the height of the monument. Okay? So if it says angle of elevation, I'm looking up. Angle of depression would be like looking down. It says 405 feet away, so I know that's on the ground, and I'm trying to find the height of it. Okay, pretty straightforward. Let's turn it over and I'll set up one on the back. You have to actually finish this. You have to find X. But I'm just making sure you can set up the problem. All right, 5. Find the angle of elevation of the sun when a 24-foot casts a shadow of 36 degrees. So we've got a 24-foot tree, so that goes straight up and down. Shadows go along the bottom, that's 36 feet. I want to find an angle of elevation, so that means this angle right here. Okay? Any questions about this? All stuff we've done before. I do want you to be prepared. This is the first review. This is due tomorrow. Okay? And then I'm going to give you another review tomorrow because the last quiz was not so great. And so I want to really make sure you know how to do this before we move on. Okay? All right. If you have any questions, please let me know.